I need to go on a parenting course.
Okay. We're here to talk to you this evening about an extraordinary new publication which the British public are rapidly realising is an irresistible work of non-fiction, EinsteinsWatch. You're joining us with the two authors, Jolyon Fenwick.
Marcus Hustleby.
Yeah, and we're just going to take you through in broad strokes what inspired the great work and what, to get inside, if you will, the minds of the two authors themselves, even in the very limited time we have available. So, Marcus, what would you say really inspired this particular work? I mean, tell the story, if you will, of how it actually came about.
I think I'd be right in saying that it came about through the binding of the first piece included in the book.
I think it did, yeah.
Which was Steve McQueen's driving licence.
On the back of the book.
Not
driving licence, bike licence.
Bike licence, that's right. Although it's called the Driver's International Licence.
Yes.
And it was...
Does that mean you can drive a car?
Yeah. It means you can drive a car. Hence the film The Mall.
Right.
All about him driving a car.
Yes, yeah.
And what was good, I thought, about this piece is that it wasn't just a sort of poster of a film of McQueen. It wasn't some of his clothing or anything, but it was a...
Can you get his clothing?
Well, you know,
can you get his
jacket. Yeah, some of it's just auctioned off all this stuff and his plastic sunglasses.
Yeah.
But it was a curious item, wasn't it?
It was.
Quite intimate to him and quite intriguing. And from that, I think you came up with the idea, didn't you? That
I did. That's very generous of you. That's very generous of you to give me that plaudit. But I did come up with the idea for the whole book, which was off the back of that, which he found. So I said we're going to share the credit, but then I went on to find various other extremely interesting items. Now, and all sort of people.
Just you just found them.
Yeah, I found them. Yeah,
you found them.
It was a so-called collaborative effort, but you know, like Lennon and McCartney, not really. But no, but a lot of people have asked us about the criteria for this particular book, and what would you say the criteria was, Marcus?
Well, it's very personal, really, isn't it?
It is.
I think that it is a combination of a number of things. Firstly, inevitably, there are certain things that we're more into than others.
Clearly, yeah.
So take the war. Jolyon's a big fan of the war. Fan's the wrong word. He's very interested.
Well, he says the war, but of course there are two chiefly recently, but any number more than that. But yeah, they do feature. I'd grant you.
And then obviously our age. You know, we've got the Bazooka in there, which the Adam West series was obviously an important part of
this is Batman
of our growing up.
That's Weinstein on the Blur. He rings up all the fucking time, particularly during dinner.
And then I think it was obviously a bit of a bit of things that are relevant
Your
to the
TV
year.
gold.
I know, I'm sorry. Things that were relevant to the year. So we've obviously got Obama in.
Well, no, but the thing is, I think actually it can be, you know, I mean, even more pithily put. We've had it so far. In that, I suppose. I mean, in the forward, which I don't think anybody reads, but it reads.
The forward's the best bit of the book, I think, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe you should read the forward.
Yeah.
Just read the forward.
The most saleable things, a category you could naturally assume is already calibrated by price, but price, dictated by those with the wherewithal and willingness to pay it, is an unreliable instrument in determining value. So on whom should you rely for this onerous task? It must clearly be left to your own careful and personal assessment. But in the meantime, if stuff, rather than experience, could fill the unforgiving minute, in the way we think that Kipling intended, and we'll go into this in a second, then we humbly submit the following for your consideration. So, when obviously in the audience will be familiar with Kipling's poem, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. What did he mean by that? Well, I don't think he meant that everything should be sort of, you know, deeply worthy and all the rest of it. But I think he meant that there should be sort of frivolous things. I think that there should be intriguing things, funny things, naughty things, which there are a few of. But things that will divert you for a number of minutes, wouldn't you say, Marcus?
Or maybe a minute.
Or a minute. Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. That's very much the time scale he was operating on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what was generally in mind. Now, what could fit into that? Well, you know, I mean, there are not. Actually, incidentally, here's a question for you. What is the most replicated work of art in history? A Warhol, a Monet, a Hirst? I don't think so. What is it, Marcus?
I believe it's the.
It's a what?
It's Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh.
Well, not literally Her Majesty the Queen. It's the. Let me just remind myself.
No, it's a Machin, is what it is, and then you tell them about. Do what Marr does on his show, where he doesn't reveal at the end. It's
Arnold Machin. It's a plaster cast by sculptor Arnold Machin. Would you like to hold that up to the camera, Jamie?
I'm going to do that now.
And a beautiful sculpture, absolutely beautiful sculpture.
Yeah, and the reason why it's the most replicated work of art in history is it's the cast on which the British stamps have been produced for the last.
You doing some maths?
No, I'm sure I've said it for the last
43 years.
43 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could have bought the cast.
And only 4, of course, were made.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously the book is about a particular time scale. It's not like it's open to the most interesting things available.
Quite right. It is quite right.
These items had to be available from July 2008 to June 2009, a realistic working year if you're going to get something out.
It's a year's worth. Yeah. But the point is that the book is mainly full of things that I found and if anybody that, you know,
mainly full of things that you found.
Yeah, many things are things that I found, and if anyone reads the book, I think they'll quickly appreciate that there are some that are riveting and some that are less so. And I think they'll find that the ones that I found literally leap off the page, and Marcus's slightly more ponderously so. Should we find some examples?
Let's do that.
Marcus, what would you say is the very prince in your proverbial royal dynasty?
Well, I'm not sure if I'd like to really look at it like that. I mean, I'd prefer to start with the slightly more dubious entries, I think, and I think that we'll go over to your entries there. I think page 117 isn't the strongest, I have to say.
No. But I think we'll skip quickly.
Which is to keep calm and carry on. I mean, a relatively interesting thing, but
I think we'll skip quite quickly over that one. What would you say is the favourite of yours? I mean, as I say, go back to my original question some moments ago, and let's face it, the audience don't have forever. What is something that you would actually like to share with the audience? There's something that you found.
Well, I think naturally all of mine are pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
I think,
and I'm right behind them.
If we go back to the subtitle of the book, Jolien.
Yes.